We're just saying you're involved in the tours at the club, and there's a real buzz, especially around the Gyokeres signing.
Yeah, very much so. I don't think there's been that much excitement and an Arsenal signing probably about, I'd say, 10 years, honestly.
Okay.
Like, it's because every Arsenal fan has known that we've needed centre forward. Obviously, haven't got a centre forward. Then it was a drawn-out process, whether Gyokeres was going to sign or not. I was with Anders Limpar about 3 weeks ago in Bangor for the Arsenal Supporters Club, and he said, don't pay, because obviously Swedish, he knows him, knows of him, he's an Arsenal fan. He said, don't worry, he'll be coming to Arsenal. So I was quite calm about it all. And then you realise it was the agent who was asking for too much money. Yeah. And Gyokeres says, oh, by the way, you work for me. You're not telling me what I do and I don't do. So then he pulled his neck in. So, if you're playing for Arsenal up front and you've got anything about you as centre forward, you should be getting 20, 25 Premier League goals a season because of the chances that we can create. Yeah. And I was saying to you earlier, I hope sometimes we can be a bit paint by numbers. Now, maybe that was because we didn't have a natural centre forward because Mourinho was playing there, obviously dropping deeper. So in the wide areas, and that's why I think that Madueke's been bought, because I think he'll play more on the left-hand side. He's very good 1v1s, and he goes on the outside with his left foot, so it changes the angle of the opposition, sort of back four or back five. So, the business has been very, very good. And for what you'd say squad players, like Kepa, obviously he's a massive upgrade on Neto. Yeah. As, at the moment, the number 2. Norgard coming in as well. Yeah.
I mean, you got both of those two for 15 million quid.
Andrea Berta, who is obviously the new sporting director, that is someone who knows their trade. Whereas in the January transfer window, we had Jason Ato there, who is not as experienced as Andrea Berta and how to deal with different people. Yeah.
Maybe the contact's not there. Well, that's thoroughly depressed me, Perry. Understandably, as a Tottenham fan. But no, I think Gyokeres, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because there's two schools of thought. There's people saying, well, he scored goals in Portugal, he scored goals in the Championship. There are no guarantees. But I know you've been crunching the numbers. You've been watching a fair bit of him, and you've been impressed. You think he'll hit the ground running?
Well, the thing is, Danta, myself, and Danta are on the same wavelength here. There's a snobbery about the Championship.
Oh, we see that in a lot of players.
Yeah, because
we saw it in Andy Robinson and Bowen and lots of players.
Exactly, Jared Bowen, who started off obviously at Hereford and then to Hull and then West Ham, England. I think if you're a centre forward and you score goals in the Championship, and the Championship is more physical than what the Premier League is. Premier League is the most physical elite league in Europe and maybe around the world. But if you can handle yourself in the Championship, so basically he learnt his trade playing for Coventry up front and scored 20 plus goals in his second 2 seasons.
He'll be coming up against better defenders.
He will be, but then he's going to get better service and he's playing with better players. Yeah. So he's not going to be feeding on as many scraps that he was at Coventry City. Yeah. So he'll get better service. I think what will happen is you'll see Kai Havertz, obviously Gyokeres will play up front. You've got the option of Kai Havertz, obviously playing as a centre forward as well. So what he needs to do, because of the big signing and because of all of the hype around him, then you need to score. You need to score in your first 2 games. Yeah. Because if you haven't scored after 3 games, I remember Alan Smith when he signed for us, he didn't score for 3 league games, and in the papers are going, waste of money, can't handle it, now he's going to sign Kerry Dixon. And Smudge is like, hold on a minute, I've only played 3 games. Yeah. And you end up being top scorer at the end of the season. So there's going to be this pressure, and obviously then you're going to, that end of the scale where someone who's learnt their trade and he's 27 at peak times, and then you can talk about Max Dowman, who's obviously at the other end.
We are going to talk about Max Dowman. We just heard in that little section at the top, really, his name mentioned. He's only 15-year-old, but he's quite a buzz. There's been a buzz about him for a while, and Perry will come on to that. It's pre-season friendly with Spurs tomorrow in Hong Kong, and Mikel Arteta has been talking about him.
I'm very happy with all the kids. I think they are able to play at that level with 15 years old, in my opinion, because of the environment and the culture that is within the team. And when somebody makes you feel so comfortable, so confident, straight away you can go and do it. At least it gives you the best chance. Then you have to have the qualities that these kids have to actually deliver against an opposition like this.
When did you first hear about him?
The thing is, Mikel, apparently you don't win anything with kids. No, you don't. But I heard about him when he was coming up through, obviously at Hale End, and coming up through the different age groups, and he was 13 and playing in the under-16s. And what make you think someone must be... Remember Norman Whiteside when he was a man boy, when he was 15, he was turning up playing on his motorbike with a big beard, whatever. So, but then I saw Max Dowman in the flesh live, and it was against Manchester United under 18s in the FA Youth Cup at the end of the season. So he's playing against players that are 3 years older than him, like the Fletcher twins, Tyler and Jack Fletcher, very good players. Darren Fletcher's boys. And after 10 minutes, and I was doing the co-commentary, he took my breath away. I'd never seen a player that good playing against players. Like, it was like you get a ringer, when you used to play in youth team football, and you think you're under 11s and someone's ripping it up, and you think, I don't, mate, you're 14. It was over. It was incredible. And there was a clip that he got brought down for a penalty in that game, and he picked it up on the edge of his own box. And what he's got this natural balance. He's left-footed, so he looks very graceful. But he's got natural balance where he's got the owl's head where he's always on the turn. But he's got this technique that you can't really coach, where he stop, start. So when you're taking someone on and you think you've just gone away from him, then he'll stop, then he'll start, then he stop, then he start, and you end up scrambling your opposition's brain, if you're trying to tackle him. So, and we saw that in the Newcastle game where he got brought down for the penalty, where he first takes him inside target, and Joe Linton can't get anywhere near him, brings him down. So he is a scary talent. And I said before, as Arteta said there, it'll be well nurtured at Arsenal because they've got a good reputation of bringing younger players through, from Bukayo Saka into Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly. So they're nurtured very well.
There's a school of thought that says get them out on loan, get them regular game time. But there are certain players that doesn't happen to. And you sense that he's unlikely to go out on loan.
No, he's too good at the moment for that. And it wouldn't, the only reason he wasn't in the squad at the end of last season is because of the Premier League rules that obviously 15-year-old you couldn't be training and playing. Well, he's training with them in team, but you couldn't be playing in the side. So and you have to nurture. And I go back to Jude Bellingham, obviously generational talent. We know how fantastic he's at Dortmund and Real Madrid. At Birmingham, he was handled brilliantly because they played him in the Championship, where it is, muck and nettles and you get smashed everywhere. They played him sort of left wingish, so he could just stay out of the main maelstrom of where it's all going on, and he could learn his trade because they wanted him to develop physically before they played him more central. So I think that Max Dowman will end up playing in the wider areas. Right. But as his career progresses, and if he goes on that trajectory, he'll end up being like an inside left or a number 10.
I said, who would you compare him to? And just tell me what you said.
Well, on the style-wise, very similar to Lionel Messi, because only because of left-footed, same sort of build, but balance and the way. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Messi, because Messi obviously one of the greatest players of all time.
And there are no guarantees at 15.
None at all. The only thing that I would say with Max Dowman is he's got a good background to him. The only reason he won't make the level that he should do with his talent is if he's unlucky with an injury or injuries, or his attitude isn't right. And for all the reports that I'm hearing about him, he's a very well balanced, level-headed young man off the pitch.
Right. Okay.
So as long as he stays like that, and he sees like Bukayo Saka, who's a brilliant example, he sees Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri, where you just calm down and you make sure you're humble off it. Then he's got honestly, the world's his lobster, as Del Boy would say.
Brilliant.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons, 1 till 4. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.